we're good. We're good.
I add that in there.
Hold on, I gotta clean up the stash.
Hold on, guys. I'm
Welcome back
gonna
to
put.
another.
By the way, I've been recording already for 19 minutes.
Professionalism.
Oh God.
Right. Alrighty. Welcome back to another podcast of episode 2. Today we got our friend Alec, you know, the guy that runs the Russian jumpsuit whole get-up stuff. You've seen him in a few of my videos. You've probably seen him in a few of Dirtman's videos. And he's here with us today as our fun special guest.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me on.
Guys,
Yeah, buddy. Anyways, so previous podcast we basically talked about new players joining and stuff like that. So we're gonna kind of like fill in some more things of other topics in there, especially like Speedy Boys, Milsom Boys, Ragers, like that. I'm gonna mute out that little curse word in there.
Yeah.
well, especially with YouTube's new policies.
Right. Well, on top of that too, I also gotta like kind of like that's one thing I'm trying to do is try to stop doing that. And if I'm gonna do it, I also need to like put in that where I snip it, mute it, and then just continue the video that way.
I have a mute sensor noise. Do you want me to just send you that? I've got the beep.
That's.
You can just hear the technical difficulties thing.
It's not that hard.
But anyways, so for some things we were gonna talk about, also answer any questions that anybody has and such like that. So yeah, first and foremost, Alec, any questions, any curiosities, anything like that?
So my question for you, actually, Leon, is the inspiration for your kit. Since we brought up kits when you introduced me, I would like to like kind of go through everyone's like forte on what made them choose their kit. So let's start with you.
All right. Well, for me, it was more of We'll start it off when I first started. Basically, the stuff that I was running. So stuff I was running originally, it was more for like a mix of speed commute and some basically like speed sim. But at the same time too, I'm also getting older, and some things just need to slow down because I do have pretty bad knees. I have blown knees, but I don't often show it in the field and stuff because of the way I'll walk and everything. I don't show it. So eventually I just kind of went for more of the Milsim type, and the reason for it being I like the feel of reloading, I like the feel of the like immersiveness for it. It's something that I'm used to, and I won't say why for a lot of other people. I won't say that kind of thing because that's more of a personal thing than anything. Not only that, I actually run real ceramic hard shell plates in my stuff. Like all of my plate carriers that I actually have are real plate carriers. So I like to keep realism and just that skill that I once used, and just kind of keep that in the field. So it's more of it feels at home for me than it does anywhere else.
Okay.
So that's mainly why. And like when it comes to like headgear, I'm trying to like change it up a little bit, like because you've seen my ghost mask in person the last session we played and stuff, and I actually just got another mask. It's like a hard padding mask that can go over your face, and then I got that wire mask, that matrix wire mask that can go under that, and then I can put that over, and then my ghost mask over.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how you can keep up breathing in that thing.
It's not as bad as you think. It was only when I was double masked. That was the only time that stuff was hard. Cause like the other mask that I have that I got in already, and I showed B it. It has an opening right here. Like right here there's an opening so you can breathe there. Along with there's a couple of holes right here, so that you can still keep that breathing going. So it's something I'm gonna test out and see how it feels and stuff before I'm just like, oh yeah, this is 100% what I want to do. And of course, like the field too. I gotta make sure like the field is okay with it before I just be like, oh, I'm just gonna use this today, and then have to sit out the entire session without going into play. So I have to still do my other set.
I got you. Yeah, because the thing that amazes me is his ability, Leon's ability to be able to just run around the entire mat. Like the things I see him do, his athleticism alone is just impressive enough. Especially when he double masks like he does, like a psychopath.
Dying in the
Well,
inside.
it's also pretty interesting because I noticed in a couple of your videos, babe, like you're sitting there and all you hear is like.
I will give. Okay, so I will give you what runs through my mind. I have, and I will still always have that sniper mentality. So a lot of the times when running a course and stuff, you'll hear in the videos and you'll hear me going like that when I'm running through, and that's just because I keep my breathing under control. And like after a certain amount of distance of running, especially because I'm double masked, or even if I'm still single masked and stuff, it does get hard to breathe in there. But with other players, they'll start to freak out. They'll start to hyperventilate. They won't know how to keep the breathing under control. For me,
Right.
I've been through that mentality. I've been through that kind of position where I can keep that under control for that period of time. And then, of course, when I get out or something, somebody will see me sit in a corner for a quick second. They'll just see me going, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm good, and I'll continue it. You'll still hear that, but like, it's all about the mentality and just training your body into something that it's uncomfortable with, just to get it to be comfortable with.
Right, right.
Because once
Yeah.
if you freak out, you're gonna have that losing hand rather than the upper hand. And like another thing too about it too is like there's times where I will literally not breathe while I'm going across the field. I will
I
not
do
breathe
it.
when I'm going, and I don't know why, and I think it's just everything's subconscious at that point.
I'm surprised I haven't seen you just face plant into the concrete yet if you've been holding your breath, dude. I'd be like up behind you just to watch you just.
Probably when I'm 30.
A little bit. A few more birthdays and you're there.
Right? I almost got 4 more years.
Almost.
To go. I got 5.
That's your retirement.
Oh, really?
4.5. Yeah, some shit like that. It's crazy. I mean, it shocks people how well I can keep up with the amount of stuff that I wear too. So like some people will think my like chest area is all heavy. It's really not. The only thing that makes it heavy are those gas mags. That's it.
I bet it also comes down to the weight down on your shoulders, because I bet it could bring your ribs in.
Not so much
Okay.
that. It's more of the waist area.
Really?
How
Okay.
tight
I was like,
keep it.
because for
It's
me
how tight I
personally,
keep
the
it.
plate carriers aren't really that heavy. It's more of like the uncomfortableness, like towards your torso a little bit.
Well, that
'Cause
because
of
I keep it
compression.
nice and tight. That's all it is. Is I keep it nice and tight.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
the reason for it being is it still keeps my lungs and everything in that sense.
Just squishes
Like,
them up a few inches.
yeah, and like it keeps that mobility going. And not only that, but I've done stuff similar for that for years. And I see Cody.
Dude, he's grabbing something really quick. You're
So-
good. They all say hi.
Yes.
No, he can't tonight. He can't tonight. But he wants to probably the next time, the next episode.
We'll probably have Turts in next time too.
Ooh, let's go. I want to talk to Turk so bad, dude.
I've been talking to him about that stuff. But anyways, back to the fun-filled conversation. So like I'm so used to it and stuff, and like not only that, but if you keep it constricted enough, if you keep yourself constricted enough, it helps train your lungs. It helps train your body for that capacity of limiting yourself before you get yourself out of there.
Like a masochist's way of saying.
Well, pretty much, but like on top of that too, like that's also another thing too is like I
Patty,
get
chill.
people, I get people like I even get kids that'll be like say they're scared of me or like they're like wishing I was on their team and stuff, and it's just like I don't put in that much effort to the arena. And the reason for it being is because like I'll use 25 to 50% of that skill that I've had to the arena. I won't go any more than that because it gets boring and like people can't get out of spawn. That's not enough targets for me to shoot.
It was like that one match that I was there where they were all just camping in that one hallway.
Yeah, it's because they didn't want to move and stuff, and it's just because like there was you, Alec, myself, and then the one guy. And, like I had a guy comment the other day in the video going, like he was amazed at how well all 3 of us communicated with hand gestures, being nonverbal about it, and just knowing. It's just like, yeah, if you got a good group of people that can understand and get the idea of what you're communicating to them with.
Nope.
Oh,
Well, we lost him.
We'll wait.
I mean, your camera did die a little bit on my end, so just letting you know.
Oh, who?
Yeah, yours like lagged
Sorry
out.
about
You're alright. Yeah, yours like freaked out a little bit. Oh, and oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, mine will probably do that every once in a while or some shit.
It's fine now. It's fine now. You're good.
And,
Anyway, continue.
I mean, I have a PC thing coming in for the PC, so I can actually start doing it on the PC and stuff.
Anyway, continue.
So but anyways, yeah. So like, thing is like, what was the last thing I said? My brain.
You're at 50% of your skill.
Here we go. So I'll use
Not
like
even 50,
25
like
to 50%
25.
of it, and like kids will be like, "Oh, you're so good," and blah blah blah. And it's just like, it's not that I'm good, it's that I just don't care enough in this field because there's unlimited lives. It's not a life or death situation. There's unlimited lives. There's not even one life. There's Now, I will say I will go a little bit more than that if I'm having to deal with sweats. And by sweats, I mean the speed softers that like to run and gun and think they hit you, but they haven't touched you. Or the hardcore milsimmers that play too much Call of Duty and think they got you, but they're sitting there aiming like a goddamn bolt. A fucking bolt. A bot.
Yeah, my last weekend was probably the worst I've ever had with speed softers. Sunday night, it was the nighttime session, and it was them just like all of them. There was like 5 of them on the enemy team, just feathering the trigger, going all in a 5-man squad, just down every hallway, just pre-firing around every corner. I got hit. I got shot up my whole side by 2 of them at once, doing feathering.
Jesus.
Because they came around the corner and saw my hand up and then just lit me up and then were like, "Oh, your hits." I'm like, "I'm done. I'm going home." Like, fuck,
Yeah, see,
fuck
and
this.
that's another thing too. Is like, there are some speed softers I will respect. Like most of the guys on Desert Reapers, or all of them, so far respect them. I've only had issues with one of their members, but one of their members actually kind of like cleaned it up after their team lead, talked to them. So he was actually pretty well chill and stuff. Like he was actually pretty well, like, okay, yeah. So all of them I respect. They're really good speed softing group slash milsimming group. Then you get those other kind of speed softers that I will have no respect for unless like they clean up their fucking act. And the reason for it being is because they're the ones that they'll see a dead player, they'll still light them up. And then they overshoot, and they'll do it intentionally just to get a reaction out of you and stuff. And it's just like I get it's a plastic BB war, but please, for your sake and for mine, get your head out of your ass. Not good if you're having to do that. That's the thing. And like the only time, like, this is how you know the difference between a good speed softer versus a shit tier speed softer is they're mag dumping the hull and then it stops for a split second. We're only doing it to keep you in cover so then they can move. Those who just shoot continuously down the hall and then are also shooting in other rooms and stuff and doing it intentionally, those are the shit tier. That means they have no skill. So it's like,
They're just shooting at random places, just hoping that you just happen to turn the corner and they hit you right then and there, more than actually deciding to, I'm going to tactically start shooting down the hall. Like you said, I'm going to shoot down the hall for a second so I can move myself up because that prevents them from turning the corner.
yeah, because I even have a SPQB gun, and like even with you there, Durman, you've seen it where I would hit the wall,
you don't
then I stop it and I move.
You
like
don't
I
spray
still
and pray at all.
Well, that and like on top of that too is the reason why these kids run out of BBs, like these HPA kids, especially the ones that have the like crazy like try hard trigger mode going, is the reason why they run out of BBs so fast is because they just spray.
Yeah.
They don't take an accountabilities of just counting their shots. It only takes 1 to 2 BBs for somebody to fill it. I know if like for my gas blowback, fucker's gonna feel it.
Well, that's why they
The
have
reason
5
for it
magazines.
being, yeah. Well, like I have 5 magazines and I only have 40 BBs, so I have to take an accountability of ammo.
But see that they have 5 magazines. That's the EPMs. That's 270 rounds or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And so they just make sure they have got 5 mags of 270 in each magazine, so that they know. Oh, I'm gonna use these first 2 mags to just shoot randomly everywhere, and then I'm gonna be more conscious for the last 3 or something like that. Now I'm not.
Yep.
I mean that's probably how I would play if I did speed SPQB.
Well, and then, like the thing too is like it's not a BQB tournament, so there's like really no need.
It's really not. I mean, like I said in the last episode, play airsoft however you want, but it's a game about respect and honor, and if you can at least do that and even put away the ego, that's what most people just want. Yeah.
Oh man, I got some funny stories though for that shit. But we'll continue on with Alex's conversation with other questions or things that he wants to know about, because I think he was gonna move to you next.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So I was pretty much done with my end, unless he has more for me.
You're just ranting on for the whole episode. It's fine. But yeah, there, man. If you want to tell me your inspiration for your kit.
So initially I just had a lot of people. I could, if I really wanted to, I'll just throw this picture over to Leon if I still have it. So I initially, for my first, I've probably explained this in the last episode. My kit initially started with me wearing a black waffle shirt, a turtleneck full circle scarf, the black crappy like $10 mask, the like $50 goggles, and the crap helmet that's like $60 from like VIP, a black Condor, black Vulcan crap vest that I bought from them that it like already has started breaking down. Like I don't have it on me right now, but the clips are already breaking. Like it's dumb, dude. And then I wore like blue or dark blue navy pants or black pants and like a belt, and that was it. That's all I ever had. So that was my first kit. It was awful. My current kit that people will probably see me in, actually I put thought into, because it also doubles as
Especially
like
with some of my videos
real...
that you've seen yourself in.
Oh yeah, like
like I look goofy as hell.
Oh my god, tell me about it. You know when I had the lights up here on my black vest? Oh my gosh, I looked so goofy, dude. So goofy. Anyway, my current kit I actually use for both real life that I wanted to have a real life kit in case I needed to, for any reason, be kitted out, whether that's because, I don't know, as I like to call it, the world pulls a Tarkov or whatever like that, and we gotta survive off the land, that I'm actually ready to go. But I also wanted to have, like, a cohesive, nice-looking outfit. So I've got Jungle Stripe, Woodland Pants, OD Green combat shirt, OD Green actual plate carrier with polyethylene 3A plus plates inside that I'm going to be running for airsoft as well, so I can start practicing, like Leon said, practicing my breathing, so this is going to be limiting my lung capacity. So, and then I wear an OD Green hat instead of a helmet, and then I've been meaning to get OD Green face mask and goggles to go along with everything. But I just wanted to make the outfit look more cohesive together and look more professional than like I showed up with, you know, like I said, a black shirt, a turtleneck scarf, a crappy black vest, and like black
pants.
A pussy. So I mean, my kid didn't get a whole lot of inspiration, but I knew eventually that I wanted to put something nice together for airsoft, because by the time I got, 2
that
months
Division
out,
2 look going on.
I did. After the first 2 initial months of starting airsoft, I was like, okay, I actually want to commit to this now. I want to get an actual cohesive outfit together, one that I will become familiar with, so that I can run that at Milsim events, Dreadnought, wherever I go, so that I'm not just always showing up in a sweatshirt and jeans and then renting equipment from them or something like that. So
yeah.
Not only that, by the way, if you need to for your hat, they have like a hard shell that you put inside your hat to keep it from like squashing down too far, especially if you're running your
Don't drink the
GoPro
beer,
and
you
stuff.
fucking alcohol.
You can put it down inside your hat.
It's hard right now because the goggles are so thick. It pushes the hat up, so I can't.
What's funny is you can
see
adjust it. Well, you can adjust it
or
to
can
where
you
need it.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to look into that, because it's super annoying right now. Because
and if not, you could probably look for one like on Amazon or something that has like a strap that can go around to the front and kind of like keep it where it stays flush with your goggles and stuff.
Yeah,
the plastic part goes in the back of the hat.
Yeah, I need to find something better, because I don't want to turn the hat around, and I don't want to run a GoPro on my shoulder or something like that. Like,
there was a kid at my session that actually that was running a GoPro on his shoulder.
I will admit this much. I do want to do at least a couple games with it being ran on the shoulder, just to see how it plays out. My only worry is because I'm right-handed. There's
I'll put
not
it on your right
gonna
side.
be- Huh?
I'll put it on your right side. Put it on the opposite side.
So I tried doing that. Excuse me. I tried
So
doing
when you put it on
that.
your opposite side, try to adjust it to the angle slightly. Like get an adjuster one. Get one that's an adjuster
I
one.
should. I really should.
Little camera thing that I was telling you about, I found its casing for.
Okay, cool.
So now I just gotta find my gun mount, and then I can do one where it's on my gun facing me, and then like, people can see like how I'm like looking around and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that's totally went to a tangent. That's kind of my kit doesn't have a lot of inspiration per se. It's just I knew eventually that I wanted to get a real world kit and not just have just airsoft stuff. Like I
That's
wanted
pretty
things
much
that
what all
could be
my stuff
used
is.
for a real world scenario. Like if I needed
This-
my plate carrier for some particular reason. So
This duty belt, this is not just for airsoft. This is also for firearms and stuff too. Because if I really needed to, I could always load up one of my rifles, like my actual rifles, and put all this stuff in and go do what I want to go do with them.
yeah.
And not only that, I figured out that I can adjust my other holster, so I had to sell my other one, and I got it sold perfectly.
Nice.
So now this one fits just like my 45 on my real one, which I also got a concealed carry for that one too now. Anyways.
So yeah, I'm just so in case people are asking, I'm just running just a combat shirt that I bought from a nearby surplus store that I live by and the pants, but they actually sell this is the Max Tax Rapid Tac plate carrier. This is what I bought. This is what I run currently right now. I like it a lot. I do plan on putting what's it called? The Cummerbund quick releases eventually on this sucker. I just haven't gotten around to getting it.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
Deal with it. It's my kid, so no.
I don't want to, Mom.
Anyway, so amongst also, I finally got a name tape made for it, and it says Dirtman, so people can like actually like call out my I guess this is my call out sign, so that if I'm on the field, people can actually get my attention rather than just yelling "Hey you" or "You there" or something like that. Because I know that's hard to get the attention of teammates sometimes.
I got mine coming in, so I can put it on the back of my helmet.
Oh, nice. I would do it on the back side of my hat, but I don't think it has Velcro, or I don't know where a hat
Mine
is.
does.
So.
Mine
My
does.
kit's unique enough that I don't have to have a call sign.
You're just Russian guy.
Yep.
You're
You Russian
the
gypsy.
you're knockoff Brennan
Russian
Herrera.
gypsy.
You're the AK guy, but for airsoft.
Yeah, for airsoft. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this stuff is coming in sometime next week
Okay.
to the following week. So between the 3rd and the 9th. So before I go fly out to Cali for the week.
I'm changing my fatigues on my uniform. I'm gonna have two different setups. I'm gonna have
baby.
I'm gonna have Soviet Special Forces, which is the current kit that I have, and then I'm gonna have EMR Current Troop Digital Flora. So I'll actually have like the Digital Flora, the actual helmet cover for the 6047 that I have, and then the fatigues underneath. Because I don't need to change my actual rig or my body armor or anything like that because they're already like green in a way. I might need to change my body armor, but we'll see if it looks funky or something like that. But for now, it's
just make it work. Some shit.
yeah. And having that the new fatigues is going to be a lot better because they're a lot more slim and less baggy,
Right.
so things won't get snagged as much as they have been.
Just chill, bro.
But yeah, I got a new purchase too, by the way. I should show it off to the Leon. I think I already showed you this.
Yeah, you showed me in the picture. He's got a new AK.
Ooh, that thing's so sleek.
So I told him it looks
That's
like it's literally
pretty.
just a combat AK where they just took like a M4 rail and just put it in the front and just made it where it's workable to put attachments.
Dude,
Yep.
that's clean.
This is LCT. I bought it at Vanguard because I don't want to wait months for another AK to show up at my door. Because I already have the
Well, there's
the
other
other.
websites that you can. There's other websites that you can get it from sooner than rather than Evike, because like Evike, yeah, they're good and all and stuff, but like you can also get stuff from like Airsoft Junkies, Airsoft Nation.
I mostly shop at the Airsoft Mega Store. That's usually
Yeah,
the
there you
site
go.
I go to. I just like their navigation on their website is just a lot more familiar to me.
I would just like to
But
interject and say, hi, YouTube manual reviewer. That's an airsoft gun, not a real one.
yeah,
Just want to
yeah,
point
this
that
is
out really
this is all
quick.
fake. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
It's a fake gun.
It's fake.
yeah, it's all
Hi,
fake.
YouTube manual reviewer. It's fake.
So wait,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, given the fact that my channel's all nothing but airsoft, so
actually, this comes into play as the question that I wanted to ask you guys that I said in the chat. Now, this is a debatable topic. Would you guys consider airsoft a sport or a hobby?
It depends how you
if
treat
you're
it.
into it, if you're into it as much as we are, it's mainly a sport. But if you're
Is
only
it?
doing it every once in a while, it can just be a hobby.
For me, I would call it a hobby because I don't go to I don't do airsoft to work out. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you
I don't
can't
either. I
say
just like
going to the
shooting people legally.
because on the side I blacksmith, and that's a hobby.
I said
And
legally.
Whatever.
Jesus. But on the side I blacksmith, and you naturally just work out your upper body strength blacksmithing all the time, and that's not a sport. You know, I wouldn't consider that nearly a sport at
No,
all.
but when
It's a
you're running
hobby.
in the field, you definitely got a
Ow.
good sport going on because running is a sport.
True, but you don't
Cardio.
collect in sports.
And shooting is a sport.
No, ow, ow, why are you taking
True,
that?
but you don't collect
Oh,
in this. And
oh.
do you collect in shooting other than like trophies?
Well, yeah, you can win money in tournaments.
Is that well,
That
esports you can
hurt.
win money in that, and that's not a
Yeah,
sport.
I'm in the middle of doing
They
something.
say
This
it's
is a sport.
they say it's sports. They say alright, they say it's sports, but it ain't fucking football. We all know this.
Well, the thing is like you're talking about like virtual football.
I'm talking about like physical
Oh,
exertion
physical football.
sports where
That's
you actually have like balance. Because
if you have if it involves money or money and a trophy, and there are set teams and stuff, and there's plenty for it, it gets considered as a sport. It's just airsoft is not really one of those like known public like out there type sports. It's more like there's fields out here that just there's when there's kids there, you'll just see that it's just the kids, no parents, because the fact that the parents just want their kids out of the house for the day.
yeah,
I would say for me, borderlines, for me at least, almost a sport. I would consider it a sport for myself once I decide to start doing more events. Like if I want to do a Milsim eventually, I want to go visit other fields.
Same.
I would consider it a sport for me then, once I start visiting a lot more fields and going out and committing to wanting to spend weekends and plan weekends out to leave the state and travel to other fields to go play at. Otherwise, right now, for me right now, I consider it a very big hobby than a sport. But it's borderline between hobby and sport for me right now.
Right, and like what I want to do too is like if like team and stuff is gonna go too, to do these Milsim events, I at least want to buy an RV, and then we can just use an RV to go over.
That would be awesome.
Rather than just everybody taking a vehicle and just going, I'd rather just get a nice size RV because I'm able to be qualified to drive it. So I don't mind having to drive over. Well, because I drive an armored truck all day, so it's literally just a heavier setup.
Away from the beer. You cannot have beer.
And so I wouldn't mind having to like drive it over and stuff, and like
You fucking alcoholic. Go away.
if we go to a rest stop and stuff, everybody can get their rest, even myself, and then after that, I'll wake up, give me some time to wake up, and then take back off again. And we can arrive there like a day or two early.
Yeah,
it's
for
not.
sure.
It's
The thing is with Milsim events too is you can only have up to 7 mags.
Really interesting.
Or rifle mags. Yep, with rifle mags, you're only allowed to have up to 7 mags, and then you're only per squad if you're with a squad from that faction team. I believe depending on the event, you're only allowed to have 1 to 2 snipers, 2 to 3 DMRs. The rest can be assault or ARs really. And then you have like 2 LMGs or something. Somebody can correct me in the comments.
Interesting. I didn't know that at all. I mean, because I look over a lot of the Milsim events and stuff like that. Like, I look at them, but they don't get mentioned very often. Like, I look through like their what do they call it? Not a manual. They call it I forget what it's called.
But my brother calling me.
They call it a specific thing, especially for Milsim West. They call it I think they just call it like just the orders or something like that. I forget. Anyway, and I've sifted through that. I've never seen something that's just like, oh, you're only allowed so many mags. Like that. I had never seen that before, so that's new information to me, which is interesting because that definitely keeps it down to the simulation part for sure. So.
Well, and the reason why they only do up to like 7 is because technically that's the real world pit setup and stuff. But
Yeah.
you're allowed to carry like your BBs and stuff in a backpack.
Well, yeah, no, I know that you can carry extra rounds and a speed loader so you can fill up your mags again. I just didn't know that the whole you're only limited to so many mags was a thing at all. Because I never assumed that somebody was carrying 200 magazines for their LMG or something like that.
Yeah, they're just like,
stacked into their
all
backpack,
around.
and that's all they have.
So speaking of that, real quick, going off topic, but it's still airsoft based. What's his name? Airsoft Alphonse.
Yeah.
He ran out of ammo on his LMG.
Really?
On his box mags, and what's nice is his LMG can take in M4 mags. So he started asking his guys around if he can get a mag from them, and they would literally hand him a mag, and he just put it on the side and just continue on, and it'd work.
That's awesome. That's wicked, dude. That's so cool.
That's some good teamwork.
Speaking, right? I guess, do we want to move on with this topic about milsims and stuff like that, and what kind of milsims we want to do? Because I really want to do milsim West, like so bad.
If Alec doesn't have any like more questions for us or like other things.
Sure.
I mean, no, I was actually gonna bring up something about milsims and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard for me to be on your guys' side because I'm all Russian stuff. I'd have to get.
What's funny is like I don't really think that matters on most milsim events. It's more of the color of the team.
Yeah.
So like they have tan team, which is like ACUs, BDUs, ACUs, anything that's like tan base. Even if your vest is tan, they'll throw you on the tan team. Same with the green team and then the black team, which is guys that wear like nothing but all fucking black.
I've also heard that they'll sometimes make civvies blue or something like that. Like,
yeah, they'll make if they're doing like hostage rescue or something, or like something of some sort.
Yeah, I've seen where they'll make it where it's like the two big factions of the milsim tend to be very opposite colors, like you said, like tan and green or something. And I've noticed that they try to make the civvies at least some sort of blue or black or just a very not bright but very opposite color from the other one, so that people know that they are civilians, so they don't get mistaken for one of the factions at all.
Yep, and I think sometimes the refs will be a civilian as well, just to kind of see what goes on.
I've noticed.
I think some of the refs
sometimes.
yeah, I think like they'll get the mix of that in there, so then they can see like who's all doing what.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't milsim West also like a 40-hour activity?
I believe so.
It's so weird with the rules because like I looked up their rules and stuff, and like their minimum engagement distance is 20 feet.
Okay, they must have like some pretty heavy BBs then.
Probably .25s and .3s.
I would assume.
.4s.
Yeah.
All I need. And I'm running that in my Kythera.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a slugger.
You've seen that gun. Let me go grab it while you guys keep talking.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, that's right. They call it the TACSOP. The TACSOP. That's what it's called. TACSOP. TACSOP.
Okay, and that's the 40-hour event.
That's like their official document that they call it, so that you can be caught up before the event happens, and even have it on you during an event. The event that's happening soon, I'm trying to find it. Let's see. They've got the most upcoming one that I can see, because I think these are old. Maybe? Because this one says November 2023. I see there's the Kharkiv Pocket.
Kharkiv Pocket.
Yeah, it's 40 hours of non-stop immersion, because they don't. You can be attacked in the middle of the night. They don't make it where where like it's off for the evening and stuff like that to let people sleep. So they're trying to make it as realistic as possible because obviously it's a milsim. So
Yeah, you can be attacked at any point in war, so.
So, yeah, so this gun I actually brought into the arena before, and it's stupid quiet. Like, it's stupid quiet. Like, there's a tracer in here, and half of it's filled up with foam, and then the other half is with the tracer.
is that the one that you shot that one time? I was like, holy crap, that's quiet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's this one, yep.
Is that battery or gas?
It's just HPA. Literally
Okay.
just an airline. That is it.
Okay.
I have some videos using it. Send you one of them.
Okay.
Probably send you
Yeah.
the Yuma one because the Yuma field was pretty fun.
Was it as decked out as it was then?
Yeah, it's still this. Like this right here is for a run cam for long distance shots that I do.
Okay. Right
It's
on.
just when we went there, I was running .25s out there, and it was still arcing upwards after a certain distance because you know BBs have little to no weight, especially if it's out in the middle of nowhere.
And there's a lot of
It's
wind
still
interference.
it's still shot pretty straight and shot to like maybe I want to say a good maybe 25 yards before it arced up.
One of the things that I would find probably frustrating in a milsim, especially outdoors, is the amount of wind interference on your BBs. Because I've seen
So
some of those videos where they're shooting at each other and they're like 20 feet away from each other, but their BBs
and
are
it's
just.
just BBs are flying. Yeah, so that varies on what kind of weighted BBs they're using. So you're allowed to use a .4 in a lot of the Milsim stuff. Um, so when you're running a .4, I think they also varies on what your setup is and what the FPS is going to have to be for it.
Okay.
With the Yuma field, however, they don't have an FPS limit or a
Oh.
weighted BB limit. So if I'm running this thing on 120 PSI with .4s, that's gonna cause some damage for something moving really slow.
Jeez. Yeah, I need to like look up the rules and stuff because I want to keep my gun around 300, 350 FPS. That way I don't have
Yeah,
to
if
do
you're,
spring changes all the time.
I know, as long as it's AEG or gas blowback, it's allowed to be up to 350 FPS. If it's HPA with the battery, like this one, it barely can function at 80 PSI, getting that 300 FPS. Sometimes I'll be allowed 2 over because it's not very much. So sometimes I'll be allowed 2 over and it's okay. Which they should allow it at least, 5 over. Because it's literally just an air mechanic.
Yeah.
Well, like you stated
So
the other episode that an AEG is more like a flick, and that gas is actually forcing the BB out, and there is a difference. So you can
Yep.
feel the difference even if it's at the same FPS.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I've always noticed that I feel like I get hit way harder when someone is rocking HPA or green gas out of their
Yeah, I
gun
was
than.
gonna say if you're gonna because like with HPA though, what they do aside from high kappas being at fucking 350, why? But because like there's people that'll run the M4 mag base on it. It's just like if they're gonna run that at 350 FPS with that M4, they need to lower it to 300 just so then because they're using M4 platform now. That's to what I was told by one of the refs. If it's running an M4 platform, then and it's running on HPA, then it needs to be at 300 FPS or lower.
Okay.
Which is weird because they don't do that with high kappas, and they don't do that with shotguns running that. There's people that'll HPA tap their shotguns. Like I have one that's HPA tapped, which Dirtman saw, and they'll run the. He's shaking his head because he knows exactly what it is, and they'll run a M4 mag in it because they have the adapter and stuff, and they're still allowed to run at 350 FPS.
Weird. Some loopholes then. It's
Yeah.
it's one thing to accidentally fall into a loophole and get away with it, but it's another thing to deliberately abuse a loophole
Yeah.
just to be malicious. Like
Yeah.
I
one of
think
the
what
things
they
that.
should do too is like if they've known this player long enough and they know what they're not going to do, they should allow it. to be like, at least with like my gun, my DMR setup, they should at least allow it to be 5 over because I'm not trigger happy and very well aware. I'm very precise of where I shoot at. And you've seen that firsthand too. You've seen exactly where precise I shoot at. Like the video that I had posted today, which this will be posted on Tuesday because I plan on posting these every Tuesday. So today is meaning Friday.
Yeah. Don't date it. Don't date it.
So the video that I already had posted, you saw the part. I don't know if did you watch it today?
I think I watched a little bit of it. Let me make sure I have it in my history.
The I'm a Ghost one, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that
Yeah.
today myself.
Okay, yeah. I watched it too then.
Okay, so you know the part where I surrendered the 3 kids, and then there was one that was like in the corner that I then surrendered because he came around the corner, and then I turned my gun over and shot the one kid, and then came around, and then here you come around the corner after you cleared out the one guy.
Now I'm wondering if I have watched it. Hold on, let me. Go ahead.
It's like go to like the last 30 seconds. You'll see it.
Let's see.
It's like the last 30 or 45 seconds.
Okay, because I stopped at 7:30. Let's see. Oh yeah, yep, there it was.
Yeah. So I remember you came around, you're like, what the fuck? And I was like, yep.
I want to make the argument really quick, though. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Alec. I just want to make the argument to you really quick, though, that if you're allowed 5 over and anybody finds out about that, though, they're gonna feel like that you're getting special treatment from the field than everybody else is. So I can understand why they're okay with like the 1 or 2 over, but if they're allowing you to do 5, they don't want. I know that you're not gonna brag about it, but but you know what I'm getting at.
The thing is like, okay, so here's my recon back on that. We're running an HPA system with a battery in it. This is something that's literally just HPA, no battery. It's on a mechanism.
Right.
So it needs a certain amount of PSI to be able to push those BBs out smoothly without locking up. So
Yeah.
with theirs having a battery and stuff, that battery helps reset it.
True.
And I feel like if you're proven as a decent player and a local, that you show up to that arena so often that the refs know who you are, they respect you as a player, and they know that you follow the rules and stuff, and they know that you're not there to abuse them or break them in any way. I bet you could get away with having 5 FPS over the limit, especially if you know as yourself you're not going to intentionally abuse that system. Even though you technically are getting away with it, and you know you're getting away with it, it's something that you're like respecting the decision of, anyways.
Right. But you also want to hear something funny? So this was a good amount of years back, when I was still running my ARP9. I was running a hoodie at the time and a big bulky helmet with a full like mesh attachment to it. So no, I think I was running a dye mask. I don't remember. I think it was a bulky helmet versus a dye mask. Either way, anyways, I won't say which ref it was, but I have had one come up to me for this very reason. I'll actually start out with this story because it's a funny, interesting story.
No, then I've got one.
So, so let me fast forward it real quick. A few months back, I met a couple of his I guess high school mates, and he said, yeah, because I explained it to him. They're like, yeah, that sounds like the guy that we went to high school with that was in ROTC, and he thinks he's got it all. Now, well before that, when I ran into him, kid you not, I was running. I had other members before I had the current members that I have now, and I had 2 female team members. Well, call one of them because I'm about 10 minutes away because I like to speed down the freeway because that's just what I do. It's a freeway. This was before I had my motorcycle.
Even still.
But I'm on the phone with him for 5 minutes and stuff, and we're just talking and all that. Well, let them know I'm 5 minutes away. We go to hang up. And I guess within those 5 minutes, this guy, literally, he sounds like this. Hi. It's like 17, 18. Balls hasn't dropped. He's like maybe like 5'2", 5'3".
Oh
I
boy.
know he was short as shit. And not to mention, he was wearing the airsoft version of ACUs, digital
Okay.
camo shit. He thought he was the hot shit. So, well, this gets even funnier.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So he goes up to the two female team members. He goes, "Yeah, I know how to CQC and all this other stuff. I was military trained. Blah blah blah. All this stuff down the road." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, sure, buddy." They were just laughing about it, and they're like, because like I would make, how I make jokes about toes and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So, so one goes, "Huh, where's Sugar Nips?" And so he goes, "Who?" And the other one goes, "You'll see." We eventually pull up. I walk in. I'm waiting in line to get checked in. He sees me. He looks back at them. And he goes, "Oh, he's not CQC certified." Because I was wearing a hoodie at the time, and it was a black hoodie. Like, this field is indoor CQC. Makes you think I want to run a wannabe military look.
Yeah, CQC certified. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, like, last I checked, CQC doesn't require certification.
It doesn't. It. Yeah, I've never heard of it
It's just
ever.
a type of
Ever.
guideline.
At all. And so they just like laughed, and I'm like, "Okay, buddy." So he walks away. I'm already checked in, and we still have a few minutes left before we go to the staging area. So I'm getting my battery. Like, I go to set my stuff down, get my batteries connected. I'm getting my mags filled, and one of them walks up to me and goes, "Hey, you're about to have fun." I was like, "What do you mean? I always have fun." And then she goes, "No, no, 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 no. You're about to have fun." And I'm like, "Ah, who's the shitbag?" And I'm all looking around, and she points him out. I'm like, "Oh, what's he been saying?" So they told me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll see if he says the same stuff to me, and we'll go from there." So then get into the arena. Everybody's crowing and stuff. I'm doing my little weird stuff that I normally do with people and stuff. My
Satanist
normal.
rituals. Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna stand here by the wall or whatever." So I go stand by the wall. Kid you not, he comes up right next to me, and all of a sudden, he starts saying the same thing. Then he adds this. "I got Marine friends, Army friends, Navy friends." I looked at him dead in the eye and I go, "I got Green Beret friends, Spec Ops friends, fucking Ranger friends, your goddamn point."
Yeah, you got friends. I'm happy for you.
Right?
I'm
And so
glad to
he
know you're
goes,
not alone.
he goes, he goes, right? And he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna have fun facing you when we're going against each other." And I'm like, "No, no," because in my head I'm like, "I'm gonna make this kid's life a living hell."
This sounds like someone we know, but I'm not gonna drop names.
Maybe,
Sort of.
but
It's similar.
yeah, right. So one of the refs that used to work there, I won't say his name, one of my team members was telling him what that kid was saying while he was trying to like do this bragging rights stuff to me.
Hmm.
So that ref, after he got told by her, he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I'm only allowing you to do this, and you only are allowed to full out of that kid." So I told him, I go, "Oh, I got better plans. I got way much better plans for this kid."
Oh,
And he
no.
goes, "Oh." And I was like, "Yep." So I can't remember what color team I was on. I think it was blue. Yeah, we were all blue team. Like my previous team, um, had quite a few random blueberries. So we were all in door 4 spawn. We had some Speed QB players. We had some Milsim players. We had random kids and stuff. And I just told them all, I said, "I want you all to bomb rush to their spawn." And they all said, "Got it." Soon as that alarm went off, everybody full sprinted all the way over there. And none of them even moved out of their spawn. So we were already over there, and then we just start laying BBs into their spawn. And the kid that had the training and everything started yelling out, "Ref, don't take a respawn. We can't get out. Don't take a respawn." Oh, 10 seconds in, the ref tells us to go take a respawn. I'll bomb rush back, and then bomb rush back out. In the time period of bomb rushing back, they had time to move. We come back. As we were coming back, there was nobody out in the field. Pushed out.
Bruh.
Guess what? It started happening again. We started laying around BBs in there, and all of a sudden, here he is, yelling out again. And all of a sudden, I go, "What happened to that CQC training, huh?" So here's the thing, and military personnel can also say this, for anybody that, actually worked with them. When you have been trained or have been giving that training, you know best to keep your mouth shut and keep it to yourself. You can share it with friends if you like. Don't share it to the wrong type of crowd that you know that can outsmart you. The thing is like, because I have that sniper mindset, the way I do it is I shoot and move. I'll shoot and then I'll move. I'll shoot and then I'll move. If I'm in a bit of a situation where I'm like, fuck, I fucked myself over here. Like, there's times where you'll see me stay in a corner and I'll just be like, all right, rifle or sidearm, rifle or sidearm, and then I'll just be like, okay, we're gonna use sidearm since I haven't used it yet, and I'll just sit there. I'll literally watch like 5 people go by me. I'm just like, oh, come on. And then I'll hurry up, bing, 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 and then I'll move. Like there's like even one when it's even on my TikTok where I was up in the tower and I literally watched 5, 6, 7 players go by me. I was just watching. Then they were going around and stuff because if you remember, Green Tower used to have that glass window,
Yes.
or that plastically window and stuff. So I literally just looked over and I was just watching, and then I moved over, and then I just casually waited. And I saw all of them going down the hall, starting to sprawl out, and I went, be-bink, 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 be-bink. And I got all but the one, because the last guy, he was already into the spot, and then he was able to get me on the head. But still, like, it's just, you gotta keep doors and corners. That's all it is doors and corners. So it's just a lot of checking. And, like, when people come around corners, I notice they like to stick their rifle just past the cover point. They'll stick their muzzle just past it. And guess what? As soon as I see that muzzle, I'm just like, all right. I'm not even gonna ask if it's friend or foe, because if it comes around that corner and starts shooting and it doesn't even hit me, I'm shooting back. I don't care. I'm not asking.
Leon's like, you have chosen death.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But like the thing is too is like, I don't know if you guys watch me do this like personally. Oh, you'll see me come around corners and you'll see me have the stock of the rifle here and then on my side.
Yes, I've seen
You'll
you
see
do
me
that
just
so
maneuver
much.
The reason for it being is because I know my obstacles to get it to where I need it, and especially when it comes around corners and stuff. If there's a small corner, I'll move it up, and I'll just kind of swiftly go around because they're not going to be able to see that. They're not going to see the muzzle or anything like that. And especially if you kind of keep a slow movement going, their eyes are not focused on slow movements. Their eyes are focused on fast movements. They're focused on whatever can happen quick. So they're focused on if it goes by, they'll see that and quickly react to it versus something that moves nice and steady. They won't react to it because it's something that's slowly immersing, and their eye won't catch on to that because they're so used to everything running by.
Yep. Especially like when I peek corners straight up and down. So like when I bring my gun around a corner, I'll actually be in line with it. So I'll put it on the very outside of my shoulder,
Yep.
and I'll put my head as straight up and down as possible, and I'll tuck my elbow against my ribs. So that way, all you'll see coming around the corner is the muzzle of my gun, the shoulder, and then the side, like the very edge of my face.
You want to minimize as much body exposure as possible, but still make it where it's legal in the field to where you're still seeing down your sight, because you're technically still seeing down your sight, and your body, you're not blind firing because you're still seeing what's down the field. And like another thing too is like, and like another thing too is sometimes you'll see me like put my gun up against the cover, then you'll just see my head poke out, and like I'll just do that, And the reason for it being is because I want to trick the enemy thinking I'm going to come around and shoot, and I'll put it away. They shoot, they give away position. It'll either tell me, I'll either play it out as I'll then start to shoot, because they'll think I'll just peek my head again, crouch down and do it, or I'll go flank around them.
And
So there's always viable options. Always viable options.
one of the things that, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, and that's another thing that like a lot of players like will tend to lack is trying to outsmart the other player, because that player is really only focused on where you're at versus what's happening. And if you're not
Where
there
they can
for a certain
go.
amount of, yeah, and if they start realizing you haven't been there for a certain amount of seconds, then they'll be like, oh, he moved, so I should move. And as soon as they get out of that cover, it's already too late.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been actually like really focusing on, because I always, whenever I run into someone, like say, if you're spawning at door 1 and you run all the way down to red tower and you're on the outside looking down that big main stretch of hall towards their spawn,
That castle
if,
hall.
yeah, if there's people already there shooting at you down the way, I'll immediately tuck in underneath the red tower. I won't even bother shooting at them, and I'll be like, all right, now I gotta work my way to flank them, because otherwise it's just gonna be a long-winded shootout that no one's gonna have any, like, there's gonna be no progress gained for how many BBs shot.
Yep.
Right. I'll definitely agree with Leon. I've been learning how to typically I will challenge a corner for the first time, and if there's a guy there, I will try to like peek, get him, and if I don't, I've learned that at this point they're just waiting for me to turn that corner, so I've just started trying to practice like just challenge it the initial first time that you peek that corner, and if you feel like you can try it again, do it. Otherwise, I've started trying to teach myself I never second peek corners. I always just try to find a new position, because they're expecting me to turn that corner again. But if I've moved, especially like at barn, I've gotten so many guys, because I will, like, you know how when you come around the tower, there's the initial you can kind of see down the corner of the hallway. They'll see me. I'll be popping off as I'm turning that corner initially, and then I'll get up to the window, or just move off to the side where they can't see me anymore. And then because they're expecting me to be there, I'll crouch down and work my way back around out of the barn to a different spot and either get up to the doorway and bang them, or I'll like the other doorway that's just to the right of the barn when you don't enter it. I'll try to move myself over there, because they're not expecting me to be there at all. They're most, especially experienced airsofters, expect the average like airsofter to re-peek a corner and not change positions typically.
Yeah.
And that's an issue with a lot of players, is they think they got a good spot. Once they think they got a good spot, they then lose focus of their surroundings, and that feels, like I said, doors and corners, and you just have to add on that situational awareness, because if you don't, they're gonna come up on you, and then they're gonna be like, here's a feather, here's your booty.
Like the one video when you scared the crap out of me over on barn, because I was like, okay, I know Leon's moving, I know he's gonna be trying to get into barn. I was just not quick enough to realize that you had already entered into barn, because I thought you were still just outside of it. So that's when in your video you saw me still looking forward. I was expecting you to be either just entering then, or to be coming around the hay bales, because my plan was to check around the hay bales and then move right. But you, by the time I was like, oh, he's not there, let me look right, you were there. I was like, oh, I'm screwed. So
Yeah, and that's okay. So that's another thing. That also brings up another story too. So there's this guy. All right, I've played against him like three sessions, at different times of the week or month or whatever. So the first two we played against each other. The first one, it was kind of like a moderate talk or whatever. But the second session, we came across each other. There was a point where we were out and we were just kind of hanging out in the field, just already out. And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know what your playstyle is," because he goes, "It's so confusing. Like, you're not Milsim and you're not Speak UB." He's like, I don't understand." And I was like, I was like, not trying to go for either. It's more of my own way. It was more of just my mindset, like I said. So, fast forward to another weekend where he was there. He also had 3 of his buddies there. And I realized he was there, so I walked all the way over because I saw him walk in, because I was talking to somebody at some other table. I think my table actually used to be the furthest, where the outside door is over there on the other side by door 1 spawn.
Oh,
before
wow.
I switched it over for the other corner, because I like that other corner for some reason. So I used to be over there, and like I saw him right? Well, I saw him walk in, and then I saw like 3 other people walk with him. So I was like, go say hi to him. I remember him. So I go walking over. He's all talking to his friends. I was like, hey. And he looks over. He's like, oh no. And he goes, what's up? And he was like, I hope you're on my team today. I really do. And his friends kind of look confused. I was like, why? He's like, I'm scared of you. And I was like, I'm not scary though. And his friends start laughing, going, yeah, he doesn't look scary. And he literally looks at all 3 of his friends and goes, no, I kid you not. He goes, kid you not. You will not be able to touch this guy. And I'm like,
It's always
oh, you
nice to have those.
can.
It's nice to have those reputations, you know. You become
Right.
like a local boogeyman.
Right?
The local
And, like,
boogeyman.
well, like I already got the second nickname Ghost from inside that field.
Oh
That was
shit.
before that was before I had my girl over and the kids were freaking out like going Ghost, Ghost. No, it was well before that. Like I want to say like 2 sessions before that.
Right
So
on.
so I also now got the nickname Ghost because
Nice.
I also like move stupid quiet throughout the field.
You really do. I'm really surprised how
And it's-
quickly and quiet you move, dude. It's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the knowing the size of his helmet that he's able to crouch down and slip through cubbies so easily.
Seriously.
It's not even that. Well, it's not even that. It's just I'm just so used to like having gear on, so it feels like home.
One of the things that sucks for me currently is my Alton helmet being so
Oh, okay.
front heavy and that visor being so high up on my
Have
head.
you ever thought about putting like some weight stuff in the back?
I was
Getting a
thinking
pouch to get a pouch around and then fill it up with like some weights.
I was thinking about it, but I already have enough weight on my head as is. And you know, it's like that plus the visor are all make that helmet pretty heavy. If I took the visor off, it would definitely lighten the load by half, but the helmet without it, it looks like a helmet. You know what I mean? It looks like a helmet. So, but I mean, I want to get used to that Alton helmet for now because I want
Just to get
the
used to the feel and everything.
I want that Soviet era Special Forces kit to be my main kit because right now that helmet is the most comfortable I have because my other one, the 6047, has a weird chin strap where the part that comes up and around your chin that's supposed to hold it to your chin is loose. So like it doesn't have like any secure
Just
strap
goes,
to it or anything. Yeah, it just floats and it's a strap so your chin is open. It's just a strap going up top and one going underneath, and the one up top is loose and you can just pull it off
it
and
just goes
curl it under.
loose.
Yeah, so without that helmet being extremely tight on your chin already, it's gonna slip off every time.
Secretly, it's just Russian telling you to get fatter on the chin area.
Apparently, yeah. I gotta start smoking some more, boys.
Anyways, so so after his friends were laughing and saying that and stuff, he goes, "No, like you guys will see it in the field. Like this guy is something else." And this is when I was running my ARP9. Um, so I didn't believe him at first or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'll give him a good scare. One of the matches, I remember I was coming through that little white refrigerator room right there by the castle hall.
Yep.
Came through there to go to tire. As soon as I came through there to go to tire, I said surrender to him and his one buddy, and then I shot one in the face mask, and then the other one that went to go somewhere else, I shot him in the ass, and all of a sudden one of them goes, "What the fuck?" Goes, and his buddy goes, "I told you," and he goes, "It's not even that serious though," and he goes, "Oh no, it's not serious to him either. Like where he shot you, that's not even him being serious." He goes, "I've seen him serious in one match against the Sweat," and he goes, "It is the most terrifying thing."
I've seen those arenas where it's not full contact per se, but it's like the Speed QB 1v1 arenas where it's like close quarters and it's pain.
Yep.
It's like whoever gives up first
The
from
guerrilla warfare.
I don't know what
Guerrilla.
is it where you can just continuously shoot each
Yeah,
other
you shoot
constantly.
each other, yeah, until one gives up from
I've
the pain
seen
or whatever.
I've seen immediately both people get up close and point blank and they start shooting
Yep,
each
they
other's
circle
knuckles. They start shooting knuckles and fingertips and stuff, and
Yep,
it's like
they shoot everything that's vulnerable.
I would draw back on someone so fast and deck them if they did that. Oh. But it's one of those things you got to know what you're signing up for, though, too.
Mhm.
if we're
Oh.
talking about stories, Alec, I don't think I've told you. I've told Leon this. I finally had my first accusation against me actually a couple months ago that I was cheating, that I was
Oh,
full
shit.
autoing. Except it gets better. I was using my high cap at the time. I had none of my rifles or my SMGs. So one of the refs, everybody kind of knows this ref and stuff like that. I don't mind name dropping, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if he watches. Nick the ref comes over. He's got this big ass grin on his face, and he like looks at me. I watch him from all the way down at the party room that he comes out of. He's just like all the way down to me. I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" He's like, so he turns to me and goes, "So you just got accused for full autoing apparently by those guys down there," and like you can see them kind of like peeking out. They're like looking and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Obviously," and he turns to the table and he looks at my high cap that's sitting there, and he's like, "You obviously cannot." So he like sits on the table or kind of leans against the table. He's like checking out my gun and stuff like that. He's like, "I'm just putting on a facade to make it look like I'm warning you and stuff like that. But I know you're fine because you're a regular and you've been here for like 6 months." So he's like, "I'm just putting on the facade." And so he's like, "All right, well, I think that's about as much as I need to spend time." And he walks back down there, and he goes, "So here's the thing. He can't full auto." And all of them are like, "What? What do you mean?" Because oh, that's right. Context. He said they claimed that some guy wearing green camo, me. Not specifically me, but I'm the only one wearing green camo pants. Nobody else is. So he's like, so the green camo guy, so he kind of can't. And they're like, what? And he's like, he's only got a pistol, and it only is in semi. And one of his buddies goes, "Hi, you just got trigger fingered." You just got trigger fingered. Just because I was pulling the trigger that fast on my high camo. I'm like, that's hilarious. That's the first time I've ever had an accusation against me. But when Nick came over with that big grin, I'm like, something hilarious has just happened, and I don't know what it is yet, but I know it is.
And I'm involved.
And I'm involved.
Funny thing. So this is also another like funny tip that I could tell people when it comes to like running pistols. So say they're at 10 feet, because 10 feet, when the refs explain it,
On the tip.
it's literally from your muzzle to the player. So if you're running a pistol, I guess if you're running a rifle too and you're smart about it, if you're running a pistol, you can draw it back and you're no longer 10 feet.
Yeah, but then you know you're doing it on purpose.
Dink.
That's the thing.
I've done that. In one of my recent videos, I did that.
Oh, I do that. I do it all the time. I literally do it all the time. Like, as soon as they reach 10 feet and I'm extended like this, I'll pull it back and ding ding and then continue on.
I can't do that to people.
Oh, I can. It's not so much because, I'm a natural asshole, but it's just, it's common sense and common knowledge. If you don't know how to, if you don't know how to, hold on, my brain's just dying.
We've been going for almost 2 hours, by the way.
I know, I looked at the time, I was like, oh shit. But if you don't keep your mindset of common knowledge and that common sense of what 10 feet really is, and knowing that you can do a drawback versus having just to say it right there, it's a lot faster to do it here anyways, and they're not moving any closer, and then you can just extend it and continue on. If they complain about it, you can sit there and tell them it wasn't 10 feet. When you draw it back, it's no longer 10 feet. As soon as you draw it back, it's no longer 10 feet. And I've done that on players before, where I would come around a corner and then draw it back, shoot, and then pull out.
And I'm surprised no one's complained about that.
I don't think the reason why they complained is because of the fact that I guess I've become well known at that field by a lot of players that watch my stuff. I think that's what it is. And so they won't complain. I think the reason for it being is because they've seen it, they've seen how I played, and they know that I'm not one to get like upset or mad or whatever.
Well, yeah, exactly. Not only that, but you also don't want to post videos of you getting pissed off and mad at people. It's not something anyone wants to watch.
Well, and the thing is too is like people tend to forget it is a BB war.
Exactly, it's a game.
The only thing that is, I guess, more of a matterful type of situation is just call your hits. If you're hit, Literally, I had a guy who got hit by my gas blowback, and my gas blowback I know can hurt.
Yes.
And it hit this one kid on the side and then in the shoulder, and I've seen him react like this and then
I know
continue to try to play. And I was under the red tower. I was literally under the red tower when it happened. And he did this, and he tried to say he wasn't hit.
Literally in
Yeah.
slow motion, he's like.
Yeah, and I was like, I know my gas blowback hurts, and I know I'm very precise on what parts I shoot. You cannot sit here and tell me that you are not hit, especially with the way you reacted.
I have two stories that are like call your hit kind of situations. One of them was actually pretty funny. The other one was just like the guy just had no self-control. But the one with the lack of self-control guy, I was coming up the main hall with all the windows on it. So I was coming up from door 4 side, and I was gonna peek their spawn hallway, right? And one of the dudes on their side was coming up, big heavy set gentleman, a little wider than your average airsoft player, was running a high cap pistol and whatnot, and was walking up to the corner. Although because of his shape, his thigh and his hip and his side were out around the corner in my line of sight before his actual shoulder, his hand, his pistol, and his head came around the corner. So what I did was I already had my gun up and I yelled bang bang because I could see his foot was taking another step forward because I knew the next step he was going to take, he was going to be right point blank with me, and we were either going to accidentally shoot each other or we were going to both surrender each other. So I just you can't really call it a pre-fire, but I aimed and surrendered his exposed side because otherwise I could have the right to shoot that. You know what I mean?
In technical terms,
And-
you're not at fault because he's already exposed, and they always say if you can see any part of somebody, that's considered them being revealed, and you can yell bang bang even if they
Yeah.
haven't seen you yet. As long as your barrel's pointing at them and you can see them, it's a hit.
I feel like if you can shoot it, you can surrender it. I feel like that's the rule.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the guy came around the corner and just lost it on me. He had a GoPro and everything like that, and he was like, "You didn't see any part of me. I'll have it on film and blah blah blah, this that." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry, but come on, man. Like you're this big, you're coming around the corner this close. I'm gonna see you first. Sorry. So, would you rather have me shot you? Like, I mean, I don't know what you want from me." And he's like, "I'm gonna go to the ref and show them this and whatnot." The whole rest of the session, I've never heard crap from the guy from the rest of the day and stuff like that. No rep approached me about me pre-firing him or anything like that. So I'm like, whatever, dude. You're all bark. But-
I had one guy that had a problem with me in one of my videos from about 3 or 4 months ago. Very early on, it was a conquest video, I think. He's a skinny guy. Do you know the room that's right across that blue room with the weird shelf that's sticking in? Right across the spawn from door 4 that you can look into. It's to the left of tire room. That blue room with the weird shelf and all like the barrels and more tires inside.
I think so.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yep.
straight across when you.
Got the statues.
Yeah. With the
Yep.
statues.
I think my stuff died.
Oh yeah, you lagged out on our end.
Okay, no, I think my laptop died because I didn't bring the charger because I was like, yeah, I won't need to charge it because we'll be
Whoops.
fine.
Whoops.
Professionalism.
It's okay. It's okay. You
Who
guys are
said
recording
this
on
was a
your end
professional
anyways.
podcast?
But anyways,
Um,
no. Okay, so I'm also downloading a clip that I had from like months ago or a year ago or whatever when I was running that suppressed rifle that you saw, the DMR that I have.
Mhm.
I have a video of a guy that got upset at me, and he literally wants to shoot me in the back, so I just turned around and mag dumped him in the face.
Nice.
Literally just turned around, natural instinct, and just started shooting there.
With the guy that I had he kept having problems with me. Like the first time we encountered, it was in the medic room. I'm holding the flagpole, and I'm like, I'm not facing him yet, and I hear him yell, or he just kind of bang bang, and I can hear him because like there's no BBs, so I can hear him. And I look left, and he walked around in front of me, and I put captions. I'm like, I'm counting right now. Like I am still out at this point in time. He walked in when I was halfway through. Like, I'm at 5 now, and literally, I have my gun up like this, and I go, 10, bang, bang, and he goes, what? You're supposed to be dead. I'm like, you walked in when I was already counting, and my hand was on the pole, and you know this is Conquest, and you didn't change the colors. Like, I explained the entire situation to him, and he's like, oh man, that's bull crap. And he like walks out. He like questions me, like, did you actually count all stuff? Ref is on the bridge, might I mention, and like heard all of that. And I'm like, and after he walks out, I'm like, if you got a problem, take it to the refs. And then later on in the same game, I turn from tire room into that blue room with statues. I'm at the doorway, and I one pop him with, I think it's my pistol or P90, I can't remember. I think it was my pistol. I one pop him in the side. Like, I can see him kind of react a little bit, and I keep going on. And I guess he yelled bang bang at me, and he's like, and I'm like, I'm looking down center hall, and all of a sudden he comes up on my left, and he's like, hey bro, you're out. I'm like, no, I'm not. I shot you already. And he's like, no, I bang banged you. I'm like, what do you mean? What? I was at the doorway when I shot you. That's more than 10 feet, because I was at the doorway that's into tire room, and he's at the one that's in the weird the hall that leads into spawn door 4. So I know that's more than 10 feet. That's like 13 feet. He's apparently that's 10 feet, which I understand the refs have to do a job, and I get it. So the ref comes in because he can hear a bit of the arguing. Like, I'm not like getting like with him, but I'm like raising my voice a little bit so he can hear me.
To the point where you're kind of getting frustrated.
Yeah. So I'm letting him know. I'm like, that's
moments.
more than 10 feet. Just so you know, bro. That's more than 10 feet. Okay. I know it's more than 10 feet, and the ref counts out with his own feet. Dude, your foot's bigger than what the 10 feet is that you have sitting out in the staging area. Okay. I'm like, I'll just take it because I'm not going to argue about it. The ref's already dealt with the situation. The guy's already wandered off, whatever. That was more than 10 feet, just letting you know. Now, I'm not typically a stickler about it, but when you've already had problems with me and you're trying to recreate more problems with me, that's when I'm going to kind of put my foot down and be like, okay, I'm going to kind of defend myself here because I'm not just going to just sit here and take it sort of situation. So,
take it like a man.
I'm not like,
I almost want to take my tape measure with me into the arena because I drive my car full of tools to the parking lot and park my car out there. So I just want to grab my tape measure and just have it on me. So when somebody says, "Oh, that's not within 10 feet," I'm gonna be like, "Okay, hold on. Oh, look at that! Looks like 10 feet, buddy."
I'm gonna be in the other room. I'm audibly gonna hear the noise of the tape measure.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm the tape measure guy. You want to argue with me about 10 feet? I use this tape measure every day. I know what 10 feet looks like.
I'm gonna come find you if I got a problem with the guy.
Do you want to see the shotgun?
The overpowered, over hopped up shoddy.
Well, Leon gets the shotgun. I had a similar situation with your guy, the bigger, fatter guy and stuff like that. I had a session a couple weeks ago that I played that I'm looking down the hall. So Barnes to my right, and I'm looking down the hall, down towards door 4. And this guy, like, you can already see as he turns the corner, so I'm the guy. I can see his arm, his shoulder, and, like, kind of his thigh, the side of his thigh already sticking out. And I shoot him with my M4. And he's not taking it at all. And he keeps shooting back at me. And I think I vaguely remember him yelling that he got me. Okay, he's running tracers. I watch all of those suckers go right past me. And I keep shooting him. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then afterwards I just walked away because I wasn't going to argue with him or anything like that. And he was another guy from another session I had problems with. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, I keep getting these problems with people. And I'm not even trying to cause them at all. That same guy that I shot the 9 times, but did the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now in the opposite direction, I'm sitting in that mesh room that's about mid of the hallway, looking down towards barn door. I think he thought I shot him 7 times, but I think me and a teammate both shot him, but we're not in the same places. I'm in the mesh room looking down that doorway, and my teammate's over by the doorway, by barn door, shooting at the guy from down the hall. And so, because when I come around the corner, the mesh window that's there, that you can see, he looks at the window and goes, "That was 7 times, bro! Too many times!" I'm like, what did I do? I barely shot you at least twice! And then I'm like, he probably got shot by one of my teammates, but because both me and my teammate saw him at the same time, he got kind of lit up on accident.
It's like, in situations like that, when I see someone who's like like me for instance, if I get overshot, I usually take a second and look around, and I make sure that maybe it was like multiple people that were like shooting me that they were coming around the corner or something. But if I see it's just one person, it's like, man, come on, like. When I come around the corner, I usually just try to make it one or two trigger pulls. I usually aim for the center mass like anyone would and whatnot, and I just hope that the person's going to call their shot, and I hope I'm accurate enough. And usually, most of the time, I am.
That like
But-
sees like the smallest part of a body that I see is what I'll target.
You shoot
And I'm
hands,
very
you son
hey,
of a
well,
bitch.
hey, look, as soon as I see it, I'm shooting it, and I'm very dead accurate with when I shoot it.
One of the things that sucks that I need to stop doing, but it's hard to not make it look like I get shot, is like when I'm holding my rifle and I get shot like dead center on the rifle itself and it bounces off and it makes me flinch, it looks like I get hit, right, to the person that shoots me. And so usually I'm just like, alright, I'm not going to sit here and argue with the dude, I'll just call him my hit, because otherwise he would have just lit me up anyways, you know what I mean? In those
Because
situations.
gun hits don't even count, and if they surrender your gun, it doesn't even count. I had some instances where
Sorry.
somebody would shoot my gun. There was last session, a guy shot my gun like 3 times in a row that session, and it was funny because like he would try to shoot me in the plate carrier and stuff, but he kept hitting my gun. And then like one of the ones he accidentally shot up close, and it was hitting my gun, and he was like, "Oh man," and he was like, "My bad, dude." I'm like, "No, you're good. You hit my gun."
See, Alec,
It's like-
I'm the same way. I'll flinch when my gun gets hit sometimes, but typically I'm quick enough to be like, gun hit, it was a gun hit, I swear. Like, I'll call it out as quickly as I can so that people understand that it's like, yes, I flinched because it's one thing to get shot in the plate and, like, you understand, like, you get used to enough being shot actually on your person. It's another thing to, on occasion, have your gun shot because it's
hear that snap.
the loud snap. That freaks you out because that's not a noise you hear often while in
Yeah.
the field. So
I
I'm the
don't
same
mind
way
it.
for
It
sure.
don't scare me.
Well, no,
Well, yeah,
because
you
you've been
can
doing
be
this for
kinda-
years, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to everything. I know the different sounds and stuff. But I think we should end the podcast on a good note here.
This is why I have to be two-part. I'm gonna be honest with you, probably.
This is
Right on.
this. Yeah, we'll continue again. We'll do this again next week.
For
Okay,
sure.
right on, man.
But thanks, Alec, for tuning in. Feel free to come into the next one. We'll do same time again.
Pleasure
Okay,
having
right
you,
on.
honestly.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course.
Yeah, and then other than that, everybody have a good one, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast of shenanigans. This is a lot longer than it was last time.
You should
Right on.
actually, you know what? Just post the entire thing and just make it a special.
I'm going to.
Might as well.
I'm going to.
Might as well.
I'm just gonna post the whole thing. I'm just gonna go post the whole thing.
Russian holds podcast hostage. How about that?
Right.
Exactly.
That's
Right
a
on, guys.
perfect.
Yeah, have a
Alrighty.
good one.
Take
Bye
care.
bye
Good night.
podcast.